Hello, sober seekers. How are you? This is Craig Beck, aka the Stop Drinking Expert and the author of Alcohol Lied to Me. So let's talk about falling off the wagon, shall we? But more than that, let's talk about falling off the wagon after a very long time of sobriety. Is it all over? Is that the end? Is it the disaster that it feels like in the moment? Let's talk about it because I got a very interesting email from Declan, who's done just that. So let's dig into it, and we'll talk about this because knowledge is power. And if we know what the evil clown is going to do next, then we can take steps to avoid it and avoid falling into the trap that Deck has fallen into here. Hi, Craig. As they say, I fell off the wagon. I've been sober for nearly a year and a half, thanks to your book and listening to the podcast. It was easy, to be honest, which I can't say I struggled. I generally felt better, and my early gym routine became very, very consistent because I had no hangovers, which was great. Regularly getting 8 hours sleep too. I did feel awkward in social settings at times, but I don't go out often, so it wasn't a huge issue. But in the last few months, I had the same thoughts as others. I'll just have one, etc., etc. But I quickly brushed them off with ease. All sounding good so far, Declan. I suspect we're going to take a turn. Then came December 2024. I had a small operation, which meant I couldn't go to the gym for 6 to 8 weeks. This led me to not going to bed early, as I didn't need to get up early for gym. So I started staying up late. And this mixed in with Christmas festivities, etc., made me have that cursed one drink. And sure enough, it led to more. Now, in the space of 5 to 6 weeks, I'm back drinking just as much as I used to before I quit. My operation recovery time is up now, and I have zero motivation to get back to the gym, but I will persevere. Step one is obviously to get off the drink again and be comfortable. Have you any advice? Feel free to share this on your podcast as it may help someone else. Thanks again for all your help, Deck. What a great email. Let's dig into it. Let me take a slurp of coffee first. So, look, this drug is very good at what it does. It's an expert at it. And that's why it's able to kill 3 million people every year. And trust me, these are not stupid people. There are some stupid people in that 3 million, but you would be foolish to assume that alcohol problems are IQ related. They are not. This drug does not discriminate. It doesn't care whether you're rich or poor, whether you're intelligent or dumb. It doesn't make any difference. It wants you dead, and that is its end objective, no matter what you do for a living, no matter how much money you have in the bank account. It's very good at what its goal is, killing people. It's an exceptional serial killer. But its weakness, and this is very much a sort of Sun Tzu approach to this, know your enemy. Its weakness is that it's exceptionally predictable. I mean, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen next because I've seen it happen over and over and over again. I've been doing this for 15 years now, and the pattern is the same. It just keeps repeating. And the mistake we keep making is we keep thinking, but it's different for me. It's going to be different for me. I'm sure, all those other people that have problems with drink go through the patterns, but trust me, it's different for me. It's not. It's going to be the same pattern. So we know this drug is predictable. We know what it's going to do next. And that's how we stop falling off the wagon. So Declan, if you've done the course, no, you didn't do the course, did you? But if you've done the course, you would hear me talk about the 5 most dangerous words on planet Earth. And I've talked about it in the podcast a lot as well. The 5 most dangerous words on planet Earth, just one drink won't hurt. And I always say to people, whether it's at a boot camp or on the course, remember this moment. Store it in your subconscious mind. Remember this moment, this conversation we're having now where I'm talking to you about the 5 most dangerous, because I want you to drag this from memory, this very precise moment, the moment the clown whispers in your ear, Hey, just one drink won't hurt. I want you to remember this moment because I want that to be a trigger. I want it to be the cue where you take your fist and you punch yourself in the face as hard as you can. Because I want something dramatic to happen in that moment. Because if you listen to that voice, I'm telling you straight, it is not just one drink. It is not one glass of champagne. It is not one shot of whiskey. It is months of horrible things. Disappointment in yourself, guilt, shame, worry, panic, anxiety. You're going to feel all of these negative moments, not just for one day, not just for 1 week, for months. Because so many things happen with that just one drink. The first one is the most dangerous. In fact, I'll tell you about that in a minute because it's so powerful and it's so dangerous. The second thing is you give the evil clown ammunition. You give the evil clown another weapon to hit you with. Because now the clown is going to say in the future, that course you did with Craig Beck doesn't even work. It's a scam. Doesn't work. Last time you tried it, you started drinking again. And you're not going to be able to argue with that. You're going to go, yeah, I did. It's got you. So you weaken the foundations of how you got sober. So now, to get sober again, you've just made it 10% harder for yourself. I'll tell you how you deal with that in a moment. So what's the most powerfully dangerous thing that's going to happen when you take a drink after a long time of abstinence? Like Deck here, 18 months. And it's always this sort of period. Every time I deal with people who successfully quit with the course, 1 year to 18 months is where the danger area is. I'll tell you why in a moment. I'm getting ahead of myself here. The most dangerous thing that happens when you take that just one drink after a year, 18 months of sobriety is you do this. You go, yeah, I can probably just have this glass of champagne. Let's just try it. And you drink the champagne and you go, I don't like it. Or you taste the beer and you go, oh, that's horrible. Or you taste the wine and you go, oh, why did I used to make such a fuss about that? It was disgusting. And you feel all proud of yourself. You feel all smug because you incorrectly think, I'm cured. I don't even like the taste of it anymore. So now I definitely can just have one drink because I don't even like the taste of it. And you go home and you're all proud of yourself and you're all happy and you're thinking, yay, I'm completely cured. And you start saying stupid shit to yourself like, maybe I never had a problem at all. Let me tell you that the next drink you have, you still will claim you don't like it. And the next one, you might think that, but you won't vocalize it. And within a few weeks, you will be drinking more than you were at your worst. Why more? Because when you were drinking at your worst point, you were probably limited by the failings of your own body. If you'd spent decades drinking and you reached your peak, you'd probably started to do some significant damage, even if it was just acid reflux and you couldn't drink as much as you wanted to because the acid came up and it was uncomfortable. You've had a year of healing. Your body started to recover. And now you have more capacity to drink than you did when you were at your peak. So you very quickly get back to where you were and then some. And that's what Declan has said here. It took him 5 to 6 weeks, which is actually quite a long period of time. It's normally quicker than that. 5 to 6 weeks to get back to his original peak drinking. So let's talk about why. Why does this happen? I mean, if you look at Declan's email here, so felt better, got stuck into the gym, loved it, 0 hangovers, which is great, 8 hours sleep every single night, waking up full of energy, rested, recovered. All these amazing things were going on. He was loving it. And then for some reason, he said, all right, I'm going to take all that amazing stuff and throw it away. Why? Why would someone do that? That doesn't make any sense. And the answer is because I always remember a very wise man said to me, a coach, this is like 30 years ago now, He was called Dan O'Day. He was from Los Angeles. And he said to me, success breeds failure. And I didn't really understand what that meant at the time, but now I do. When people discover my book, my course, they've been trying to quit drinking for 5 to 10 years, generally. Nobody arrives on day one when they've made the decision, I want to quit drinking and I've not tried everything else. You have to go through that process of trying to do it on your own, the disappointment of finding out you can't, and then sucking up your pride and asking for help. And that process takes between 5 and 10 years. So by the time people get to me, they have repeatedly failed to quit drinking. They have proved to themselves beyond all doubt that quitting drinking is not only difficult, it's pretty much impossible. Can't be done. Everything they've tried so far has failed. Every silly gimmick, everything. Nothing has worked. So then someone like me comes along and says, quitting drinking is easy. Do the course and I'll show you. And they do the course with skepticism and go, this sounds too good to be true. And they quit drinking really easily. They just stop because the programming is right now. They start thinking about alcohol in the same way as they think about things like heroin. They look at it with contempt and hate because their programming is right. Well, that's great. So then they have like 9 months, a year, life's getting better and better, the health's recovering, relationships are getting better, finances are getting better, careers starting to go places, all the brakes have been taken off life. And then at the 1 year point, because human beings like round numbers, at the 1 year point, a very stupid thought occurs to them. They sit in the midst of everyone socially drinking and they think, it was awfully easy to quit drinking. I mean, I did it overnight, basically. Craig said a few things to me and then the next day I didn't drink. That seems a bit suspicious. And then they conclude, with the help of the evil clown, that they never had a problem in the first place. And actually, they're robbing themselves of one of life's little pleasures because they never had a drinking problem. Because people with drinking problems can't just stop like that. It's difficult. Well, it's nearly impossible, isn't it? So this ruminates for a few weeks. This goes round and around in the subconscious mind. They start thinking, well, I must never have had a problem at all. And they look back with those rose-tinted glasses and they think about that vacation where they were drunk and they had a great time and all the parties they had when they were in their 20s and all those fun times. And they think, if I never had a problem, why am I robbing myself of this joyous social lubricant? And then opportunity meets planning, as they say. And they're at a party or they're at a wedding. And the waiter comes around with a tray of free champagne glasses, or they're on a business class flight, and the cabin crew walks down the aisle and says, "Would you like a glass of champagne or would you like a glass of orange juice, sir, ma'am?" And in that moment, that's where the clown uses his little tiny bit of energy and he goes, "Just one drink won't hurt." And because you've been thinking about all this rose-tinted nonsense and you've incorrectly concluded you never had a problem, you go, yeah, that sounds logical. Just one drink won't hurt. And so you take the champagne. You taste it and you go, I don't like it. And that's where we started talking a few minutes ago. Now you're all proud of yourself. Now you're definitely convinced you never had a problem because you don't even like the taste of it. It tastes disgusting. I've heard it all before. Many, many times. So look, if you're reading the book, if you're just listening to the podcast, if you've not started yet, or if you're doing the course, I just want you to remember this conversation, because if you stop drinking today and you just don't have another drink and it's not a problem, I'm telling you, in a year, 18 months, you're going to have these thoughts. You will have them. Remember this conversation and punch yourself in the face. It's the only solution. So look, Declan's done that. It's too late for Declan here. Has he thrown away 18 months? Is that it? Has he ruined it? And the answer is no. Because, look, it's fine to feel down when you fall off the wagon. it's understandable. It's probably acceptable. Okay. You can feel down in the dumps. You can be disappointed in yourself. You can have a pity party. You can even, if you really want to, go into victim mode and blame other people for your drinking. Oh, it's not my fault. It's that Craig Beck. His course is rubbish. Yeah, it's not my fault that, the cabin crew basically put the glass in my hand. I mean, what am I supposed to do? You can come up as many victim explanations as you want. You can do all of this. But if you're going to have a pity party, schedule an end date to it. Agree with yourself. All right, I'm really pissed off with myself. I'm going to be absolutely down in the dumps. I'm going to be miserable, and I'm going to love being miserable for 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to stop this nonsense and I'm going to get back on. Yeah? Schedule it. Be down if you want, but don't stay down. What's the point of that? Remember my favorite quote. It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. So, yeah, have your moment of downtime and then shrug it off. It's not a big deal. It's annoying. It's irritating. It's not a big deal. And you start again. But you start again with 100% passion and commitment. You do the course again, start at day one. You start going to the gym again. You make dramatic changes in your life. And you understand the process, okay? For the first 2 weeks, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to miss the alcohol because the alcohol's now hitting you with a stick. It has the physical power. It's got the kick. And that's going to go on for 2 weeks. When you first go back to the gym, Declan, you're going to hate it. You're going to get in that treadmill and every minute is going to feel like an hour. It's going to suck so bad that you can't believe you're paying for this torture. You're going to feel all of this weight on you for 2 weeks, maybe 3, maybe 21 days. And then at some point, the switch will flip in the other direction. You won't be missing alcohol. You'll be back in the rhythm. You'll find that if you can't go to the gym, you're irritated. You'll notice that when you go in the gym, you feel uplifted, empowered, and ready to work out. When you don't work out, you start feeling bad. We know it happens every time. It's a highly predictable, entirely repeatable process. So you commit. You've got 2 to 3 weeks of a little bit of white knuckling, but then it all gets easier. And you know from experience that life is infinitely better without the attractively packaged poison in it, right? I'll just add one proviso before we finish today, because it's quite a long one, I guess. Is remember back at the start of the episode, I told you that one of the things that happen when you fall off the wagon is you give the evil clown another stick to hit you with. You have made it 10% more difficult for you to stop drinking again. So that means you need to add in one more stick to your arsenal. Okay? Because this is civil war. This is your conscious mind versus your subconscious mind. And in civil war, you need every single weapon. Otherwise, you're going to lose. You know what that is? That's my mum calling to see how the cat is. The cat's not well. Well, one of them. We have 8 now. So when you start this process again, bring in one extra weapon. So that could be you bring in some quit lit from other great authors. So not just reading my book, but you also read Alcohol Explained. You make that as part of your bedtime reading by William Porter. You bring in Jason Vale, Kick the Drink. You bring in Drink by Dr. David Nutt. And you get all of this new information to give you different angles on the problem. Or maybe you add in some custom hypnosis, or you go to timeline therapy. You just need to add one more weapon into the arsenal to level up the playing field. Okay? Any questions? If you want me to talk about anything specific, email me, craig@craigbeck.com, or visit the website, stopdrinkingexpert.com, and get in touch with me via that route. Thanks a lot, and I will see you in the next episode.